Hello, my name is Ashley. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write a resume. But before we get started, let's see if you can relate to Krista's situation. Krista, who grew up in the country of Ethiopia, just moved to Texas. She's a single mother who needs to find a job that will allow her to support herself and her 2 children. While Krista doesn't have a lot of job experience, she did some data entry for her sister's company a few years ago, but after searching on websites like CareerBuilder, Indeed.com, and ZipRecruiter, she is a little concerned about some of the things required to even apply for jobs. For example, one of the jobs that really interests her is that of a data entry clerk at the new AdultEdMed hospital. The job sounds absolutely perfect for her, but the position requires a resume. While Krista knows what a resume is, she's never actually written one herself, and she really doesn't know how to get started. This really is not uncommon. Writing a resume is really tough. I don't even like to write my own, but it is an important skill if we want to get the job that is right for us. Have any of you written a resume? Do you know how to write a resume? Well, that's what we're here to learn today. What is a resume? A resume is a summary of educational and work experience. Have you ever wondered why employers require a resume? Well, many employers use resumes as a quick snapshot of a person's qualifications for a job. You can use your resume as a tool designed to get you to the next step in the employment process, which would be the interview. What most of us don't realize is employers will typically spend 15 seconds, yes, only 15 seconds, looking at a resume before deciding which pile to put it in. The no pile, which likely ends up in the recycle bin, never to be looked at again. Or the yes pile, which might lead to a possible interview. There are 3 types of resumes: the chronological resume, the functional resume, and the hybrid resume. Chronological resumes list your work history in order of date with the most recent job on the top. Functional resumes focus more on skills and experience than work history. This is best if you want to highlight your skills or if you're seeking a career change. The 3rd type of resume is the hybrid resume. Basically, it's a blend of them both, with skills being listed before the work experience. This type of resume is best if you have a mix of relevant skills mixed with similar work experience. The chronological resume is the most common format. If you don't know what chronological means, it's basically a record of events that starts with the earliest event and follows the order in which they occurred. This is called chronological order. A chronological resume lists work history in chronological order starting with your most recent job. So, maybe your most recent job was a cashier at a grocery store, down to the earliest position, which might be your first job, like a babysitter. This resume is usually preferred by most employers because it really provides a quick snapshot of work history with the most recent positions at the top of the page. It is best to use this format if you have a solid work history, your experience relates to the job you're applying for, and you have almost no periods of unemployment during this time. Now, the functional resume, unlike the chronological resume, focuses on your skills and experiences first. You should use this type of resume if you have had long periods of time where you were unemployed. A functional resume would also be useful if you are in the middle of changing careers, you recently obtained your GED, or graduated from college and you have limited work experience, or have a diverse background where you held a large variety of jobs, but no clear or specific career path. And then finally, the hybrid resume combines the chronological and functional resumes. It details both your skills and experience, backing this up with a chronological list of work history. It is flexible in nature, as it lets you tailor your resume to prospective job openings, as it basically tells the hiring manager a story. Okay, so let's now move on to reasons to write a resume. The big question here is, Why are resumes important? Well, there are a lot of reasons, but perhaps the most important is that many employers don't even look at your resume. In fact, they have a computer scan the resumes instead. And sometimes the computer will scan up to 100 resumes just to fill one position. The resume provides hiring managers with their first impression of you, and a well-written one just might be the ticket you need to get an interview. So use your resume as a sort of study guide to help prepare you for your interview. You will boost your confidence as you get ready to tell the employer just how awesome you really are. We're now going to discuss the parts of the resume. Resumes may vary depending on your career, education level, and type of position you are applying for, but there are usually 5 basic components you want to include. Those components include the context section, the objective or summary section, the experience section, the education section, and the skills section. The context section is usually located on the top of your page and will include the following information: your name, street address, phone number, email, and you can also include a professional social media or website link. The summary or objective section should be a basic overview of your professional goals. You will write 1 or 2 career goals and why you are seeking employment. Keep this section concise and to the point. The experience section will provide a synopsis or a quick snapshot of your work experience. In this section, you will want to include the companies you worked for, the dates of employment, and a list of responsibilities and achievements. Now, if you don't have work experience, you can list your education first, then list volunteer activities, hobbies, or school activities. The education section shows your academic achievements. This is where you will list schools attended, diplomas, certifications, degrees, and even digital badges you may have attained. If you have not completed school, you can list the school you are currently attending and state something like diploma in progress. The skills section shows employers that you have the skills needed to succeed in the job. Some examples of skills you might see on a resume might include the following: active listening skills like asking questions or taking notes, communication skills like written and verbal communication, so the ability to write and speak effectively with your coworkers, or computer skills like typing, data entry, or writing emails. Now we are going to look at some tips and strategies for writing a resume. First, let's go over some basic tips. Then we will look a little more deeply into each one. Don't lie. Don't include references. Don't use more than 2 fonts. Don't use graphics or pictures, and don't include personal information. Always be honest. Lying could get you in trouble or cost you the job. Keep a list of references that can easily be sent via email on a separate document. They take up too much space, and employers usually don't want to see them until they are closer to hiring you. Use only 2 fonts. The preferred fonts are Times New Roman and Tahoma. Images and graphics, unless you are a graphic designer, are considered unprofessional, so it's best to avoid using them altogether. And finally, personal information like birthday, height, weight, marital status, and religion are really unnecessary on your resume because they should be irrelevant to your ability to obtain a job. So now that you understand what a resume is, the types and parts of a resume, and tips and strategies for writing a good resume, let's help Krista write a resume. So just to review, Krista is seeking a data entry position at the AdultEdMed hospital. She has some experience working for her sister's company doing data entry, so she is likely going to seek a data entry or clerical position. But what type of resume does Krista need? Krista has been busy being a mom, so her work experience is limited, so we probably want to help her create a functional resume. Now, when you create your own resume, you can search free resume templates on the internet. or you can create your own. For our purposes today, I'm going to use a free Google template, but change some of the sections around. The original template looks like this resume template. We're going to edit Krista's resume so that it is a functional resume instead of a chronological resume. Our first section is going to be the contact section. There are many ways to do this. I'm going to put the name on the top and her contact information right below the green line. It doesn't matter how you format it as long as you make sure to include it. As you can see, we have the address, phone number, and email address. In today's digital world, it is likely that a lot of employers prefer email communication to a traditional phone conversation. So don't forget to include an email address. If you don't have one, make sure you create one at a website such as gmail.com. This next section we are going to add is the objective. Krista wants to obtain a data entry position at the hospital, so Krista's objective will be a desire to obtain a medical data entry position with the AdultEdMed hospital, so I may use my data entry skills for maintaining correct data records. Our third section is the skills, sometimes called the qualification section. We want to make sure the skills Krista shares are skills that will benefit the employer. So we're going to include the following: typing with 90% accuracy, ability to work well independently and with a team, excellent problem-solving skills, efficient organization and filing skills, strong time management skills. Then, under the work experience section, we are going to add Krista's work experience. Krista has been busy raising her kids, so she has not been in the workforce for a while. But maintaining a household takes a lot of skills, doesn't it? And those skills can be transferred to the job market. So we're going to list her most recent experience as being the Smith household, where, let's face it, she's the mom, so she is the manager. I'm sure a lot of you are managers of your household. Have you ever thought about the skills you have just by keeping everyone fed, attending classes, and participating in extracurricular activities? We are going to add the following under Smith household. We're going to add manage multiple schedules, formulated daily routines for a team of 3, and administered a monthly budget using online tools to pay household bills and maintain bank accounts. Directly following the experience, we will add her work experience at her sister's company. So we will list the company, Solomon Tax Associates, first separated by a comma, then list her job title, Data Entry Clerk. We will then list her responsibilities, which include entered and updated customer account information, prepared data for computer entry by sorting and compiling information, secured information by completing database backups, resolved deficiencies using standard procedures and returning incomplete documents to management, assisted the office in achieving tax season goals. And finally, we will list Krista's education. Krista has taken classes to achieve her GED, so she does not yet have a diploma or degree to list. So we will simply list General Educational Development Diploma, Diploma in Progress. And we are done. But are we? No. We need to go back and proofread our work to make sure we like the way it reads and looks, and to make sure there are no typing, spelling, or grammar errors. We also want to make sure that we are using a readable font like Tahoma or Times New Roman. If I check the font type, it is Tahoma. I also want to make sure that I was honest, didn't use graphics or pictures, and did not include personal information, which I did not. The resume is now ready to be submitted with the application. Keep in mind when you apply for different jobs, you may want to edit or change parts of your resume, such as the skills section to meet the skill requirements of the desired position. Don't lie about your skills, but maybe include different ones for a job like secretary, food service, or retail work. So now it's your turn to get some practice of your own. Follow these steps to start a rough draft of your resume. Your assignment is to write a rough draft of your resume. You will want to choose a job that you would like to apply for. Create a list of your skills. Make a list of jobs you have held. Choose the type of resume that's best for you. And then find and use a template or create your own resume. Make sure to include contact information, an objective or summary, employment history, education information, and skills. If you want to use a template, try the ones on Google, which can be found at either of these websites. For more information about resume writing, check out the tutorial on gcflearn.com or read the 10 resume writing tips on Indeed.com. I know that writing a resume is tough, but it's really important to know how to create a resume so that you can have a good one to help you land the next job that you apply for.